Hey, what's up guys? So I've got Redmi Note 9 Pro here, and in this video I'm going to tell you about 10 cool things that you can do with this phone. And at the end of the video I will tell you about my favorite feature personally, which I really like and which I want to be in every phone. So stick till the end of the video if you want to know about that feature, guys. Let's get started. And the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the full screen display. So you can actually get rid of these navigation buttons down here, and for that we need to go in settings, and then we need to go in additional settings, and here we need to look for full screen display. Once you go in here, you can then select full screen gestures and then turn on both of these features. Now down here you actually have demos of what these gestures do. So you can swipe up from the bottom of the display to go back to the home screen, and it will be demonstrated here. So if I swipe up, it will take me back to the home screen. If I swipe up and hold, it will take me back to the recents. So if I go in here and I swipe up and hold, there we go, we have recents. Then we have go back. So if you swipe either from the left edge or right edge, it will take you one step back. So let's try this one out then. There you go. And once again takes you one step back. If you swipe up from the top left, it will open up app options. So if we go in here and we swipe up, it will open up the app options. And then finally we can also switch between the previous app and the current app, and for that we actually have to swipe from the middle of the display here and then hold, and it takes us back to the previous app. And if we do again, we'll go back to the settings. So in this way you can achieve full screen display and make use of the entire real estate of this display and remove those navigation buttons. Next up, you can also assign shortcuts to different buttons on the device. So we can assign shortcuts to these navigation buttons and even the power button. And for that, once again, we need to go in settings, go in additional settings, go in button shortcuts. Now here you can see all the shortcuts that you can assign to different buttons. Now for example, if I want to turn on the torch, I can go in here and I can select these buttons to turn on the torch. Now let's say I select long press the back button, and then if I long press the back button, it turns on the torch, and if I long press it again, it will turn it off. Moving on, we also have quick ball option here, which puts different controls at the press of your thumb. And for that, once again, we go in settings and then go in additional settings, and here you will see quick ball. Go in here, turn it on, and then you will see this icon appears here, and if you tap on it, it will give you home button, recents, it will lock the screen, take a screenshot and go back. So all these different controls are now at the press of your thumb. And if reaching these navigation buttons is not possible all the time with one-handed use, because this is a huge phone, you can then use quick ball to achieve these different functions. And here you can select different shortcuts. You can select preferred gesture, you can hide it automatically and move aside when full screen. So there are different options and you can control and customize it a little bit as well. Next, we also have one-handed mode on this phone, and thank goodness that we have this mode, because this once again is a tall phone. It's a huge display, 6.6-inch display, and with this one-handed mode you can use this huge display with one hand and don't have to use your second hand all the time. So we go in additional settings and go in one-handed mode. Now you have to turn it on from here. It's turned off by default, and once you turn it on, then you can swipe on the home button here. If you swipe to the right, it will reduce the screen size to the right side. If you swipe to the left, it will reduce the screen size to the left. And then obviously you can also change the screen size, so you can go 3.5, 4 or 4.5 inches. Moving on, you can also hide this notch here. So for that we need to go in settings, and then we need to go in display, and here you will see this option called notch and status bar. So go in here, and here go in hide notch, and then you will see that already don't hide option is selected. You can go ahead and select this one, hide without moving status bar, and when you will go back, we will now have a black bar on the top. You will see your battery and Wi-Fi and everything on the top here, but the good thing here is that the notch is now hidden in that black bar. You can also select this option, hide and move status bar, and when you will do that and go back, you will then see that we have a black bar on the top and we have our status bar below that. Now I would not recommend this one because this will eat up a lot of space, a lot of screen space. So the best option if you want to hide the notch is to go for hide without moving the status bar. That will hide the notch and put your status bar in that black bar and give you a decent amount of screen space. Moving on, we also have Game Manager by the name of Game Turbo on this phone, and you can either access it from the settings by going in special features and you will see Game Turbo here, or you can just go ahead and tap on Game Turbo icon and it will take you to this Game Manager, and here you can go in settings and you can play around with these settings. So you can have in-game shortcuts, you can set up your page orientation, home screen shortcuts and stuff like that, change the performance as well. And during game you can turn on these features, so answer calls hands-free, restrict buttons and gestures so they won't interfere while you're playing the game. And then we have some additional settings, and here you can set up additional settings for each game separately. Now if we launch a game here, Call of Duty in this instance, you will see that we have this bar here, and if I swipe on it, it gives us some settings. So you can start the screen recording, take a screenshot, you can boost the game by clearing the memory on the phone, and then you can launch some apps here, and when you tap on these apps they will launch in this view. So they will be shortened and they will be floating on your display. You can move them around or you can maximize them as well, and you can also get rid of them. Next up, there is this great feature on this phone. I use it all the time on my Samsung phone, and it's called second space here. It's called secure folder on Samsung, but it's called second space here. So go in settings, go in special features, and here you will see second space. Go in here. So this is like a second profile on your phone where you can have your apps and photos securely stored, create anytime, completely ready to use, separate space. So this is like a completely different profile on your phone, so you can use your work profile or work profile differently and manage them securely as well. So we can turn on this second space, and now we wait. So it says here created successfully. Let's continue. Using a password, using a shortcut. So you can use a password or you can set up a shortcut on the screen. So let's go that way, continue, and then you can set up your password. Let's skip it for now, and there we go. Now we are in our second space. Now you can set it up just as your first space was or your primary space was. You can set it up, you can download apps, you can have a completely different profile here. And when you want to switch to the first space, your primary space, just tap here and it will take you back to your first space. And now it requires my fingerprint scanner, so let's do that, and there we go. And now we are back in our primary space. So in this way you can create a second space and keep your home profile, your personal profile and your work profile separate and different. And when you want to switch back to your second space, all you have to do is tap on this switch icon. Moving on, we also have screen recording option on this phone, and I love it when OEMs include extra features like these on the phone. Samsung recently introduced it on their One UI and I couldn't be happier. So there we go, we have screen recorder. Now you can long press on it and it will take us to the settings. Now here you can change the resolution, video quality, orientation, sound source, whether you want to record yourself or the sound from the media that's playing on your phone, fixed frame rate. So there are these different settings that you can play around with. Lock screen to end, so whenever you will lock the screen, video recording will end automatically. You can show touch gestures, you can visualize navigation buttons and stuff like that. So to turn it on, all you have to do is tap here and it will start the screen recording, and from here you can move this around. This is like a floating control panel, and stop the screen recording whenever you want. Next up, we also have split screen or multi-window option on this phone, and it is actually quite good because the screen is taller, so you can see a lot of the apps when open in split screen. So to launch split screen, you actually have to tap the recents button, and here you will see split screen on the top. You can launch it from here, or you can long press on any app and it will give you a split screen option if the app supports it. So if I do that on the settings, you will see that the split screen option is available here. If I tap on it, settings go up, and then down below I can launch the second app. So let's say, okay, weather doesn't support it, let's try again. We'll launch this and then we will launch Chrome. So there you go, now we have two apps side by side. and then you can resize it obviously as well. And here, because the screen size is too big, it's a taller screen, you can see a lot more of these apps even though they are opened in split screen. So that's the main advantage of having such a big screen on this phone. And finally, I want to talk about my favorite feature on this phone, and frankly I have not seen this feature on any other phone that I have ever used, Samsung, Huawei, iPhones, but I've seen this on Redmi Note 9 Pro and I'm really impressed, and I want to have this feature on every phone. So if we go in camera and go in video and start recording, you will see this option here called mark. Now when the video is being recorded, you can actually tap on mark and that part of the video will be marked on that second when you press mark. Now this is actually a really nice feature because whenever you're recording a video and there is something special that happens, maybe you're at a wedding or a birthday or a party or whatever, you're recording the video, there are some special moments that you want to go back to later in that video, and for that this kind of feature is really amazing, because when you go back to that video you don't have to screen through all of it, you just mark it there, and once the video is done you go back in the video, you start playing, and then tap on this button here and it will show you where you marked it. So I marked it at 7 seconds and then again at 38 seconds. So when you tap these mark options, the video will start playing from these mark points. This is brilliant, this is amazing. I want to have this feature on Samsung, on iPhone, everywhere. This feature should be in every single video recorder on every phone. But anyways guys, that's about it from this video guys. Those were the 10 cool things that you can do with Redmi Note 9 Pro. Let me know what you think. Let me know which of these features do you really like, and if you've liked the video, consider giving it a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button and bell icon for future video updates, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care, bye bye.